Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Express, which is becoming everyone's favorite talk show. It is profoundly real and interesting, so without any further delay, please help me welcome back to the stage the beautiful and expressive director of Express, Carolyn. Carolyn, take it away.
Welcome to our show Express. Carolyn, your host for the people. You are the people. And just like to remind you to like, share, and subscribe so you can be updated on the contents of each day. For those who are visiting, thank you for stopping by. And I hope you'll also subscribe. For those who have been with me for a while, for the little time we've been here. Thank you so much for being here. And we are glad that you are taking this journey with us to listen to stories so that it can give others hope, encouragement, and also to motivate and inspire. Today, this part two, and our guest again is Mr. and Mrs. Gordon. Kestanar, known as Kes, and Colleen. So we will continue part two. Welcome. We're here again. It just seems like it hasn't been long. We were here together.
Our pleasure.
And
Yes.
back again. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to have you here too. Okay, so we're going to continue the story because the last time we met, left part one. It was when your mother, Colleen, was going to, no, she was with you because you heard Cass's voice, his bass, and you loved his bass voice. And she wanted to meet Cass, but mommy didn't dare letting you go without her being there. Is that so?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So
let's
she
continue.
so she went with me backstage, and you know, I just expressed the fact that yeah, I really enjoyed your bass,
Yes.
and that was the end of that meeting right there. But
Mhm.
it wasn't long after that we met again without any planning on his part or my part. We met again at Duff's Business College. He can take it from there.
And she not only said that she enjoyed the bass, but she said that I couldn't dance though.
Yes.
Really? Okay. And what did you think? What did you think when she said that to you?
Well, I disagreed with her. I thought I was doing my best.
Right? I guess you thought, okay, you'll see. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah. So at Duff's one day, this young lady, I I heard the guys talking about this young lady, and oh well she looked. They were talking about her, and I really didn't add to the conversation. But maybe a couple of days after, they this young lady came up to me and said, "I know you." And I said, "Really? Where?" And she said, "You you came to Dintil and you did a concert there." I said, "Oh yes," and you were there, and she said, "Yes," and we exchanged a few words then, right? And afterwards, I heard the guys saying that they were going over to Port Royal for a Friday evening. They had made arrangements with some other students from some other um, groups to go over there, and they said that they had invited this young lady who they were talking about. So I said it was then known that I realized that this was the person they were talking about, and that this person he's a Seventh Day Adventist. So I went looking for her, and I asked her if she was aware of the trip going over to Port Royal, and she said yes. And I asked her if she was going, and she said yes, she was going. I said, but you're a Seventh Adventist, and she said yes. And I said, but you can't go. And she said, why? I said, well, because they will be coming back before their Saturday morning. It's not that they're going over there afternoon, so Friday afternoon, but going straight back into the night. And she said, oh, really? I said, yes. I said, but you can't go. And she said, how you mean to tell me that I can't go? And suppose I want to go. I said, but you're not supposed to go. I know you're a Seventh Adventist, so you can't go. So we left at that on that note, not being very agreeable. It was a sort of brief. But when I inquired on Monday morning of her if she had gone, she said no, she didn't go. And she said that she didn't realize that they were coming back so late. So when she thought about it, she decided not to go. Right. So although she was being very feisty, she still, you know,
Yeah.
look at the situation and evaluated it and made a choice. And at that time, my philosophy was anywhere my Seventh Adventist sisters, I would always try to defend them. I am against my Seventh Adventist sisters being in any um, intimate relationship with non-Adventists, right? I always I always say if I have a non-Adventist girlfriend, I would never have a non-Adventist wife because it would. I mean, the refitting exercise. I would have to refit the person, and that person would be trying to refit me. It would be too risky. I couldn't. I didn't like the idea at all. At all. All right. Um.
So here we were together now at Doves. And that presented the opportunity now for us to be seeing each other daily
Mm-hmm.
and interacting. My strong point is English language. I am an avid reader. I have taught English language, and that's my line. But I am woefully weak when it comes on to the numeric subjects.
Mm-hmm.
I needed help with accounts, and that is where he is strongest. Um, so, once he had asked me, where can I meet you? I didn't want to just make myself so available. So I said, well, I am always at the library. I mean, if the library is a public place, I don't own it. Feel free, you can come there, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So we would meet routinely at the library, coming separately. I'm coming on my own, then he would come. Um, and of course, we would sit together. He would assist me with my accounts, my math, and I found him to be very humorous. He has such a funny bone. Kes is really the life of the party. He can walk into any room and get the action going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that resonated with me. I really enjoy the time that we would spend together. I even found at those times that I got a lot of introduction to his family setting from the stories he would share,
Okay.
stories about,
More of
as,
the family, yes. Bye. Yeah.
as he mentioned, with his grandfather crossing the river, having to take your clothes off to cross the river because you wouldn't want to get your one Sabbath suit wet and,
Mhm.
stuff like that. And then his life was so different from my upbringing. So I really thought it quite interesting. So we struck up a friendship, so much so that our courtship lasted 4 years. We
Okay.
met in 1986,
Mm.
and there was just so much to talk about. We really enjoyed each other's company. We got married in 1990,
90.
August 12th, 1990.
We
Mm.
used to walk together to the National Stadium. Pastor John Carter
Yes.
was having a marvelous crusade at the National Stadium. And Duff's Business College is in the heart of Crossroads. And we used to walk from Duff's in the evenings used to look forward to it. We just walk from Duffs, go up to the National Stadium. We would reach up there earlier than everybody else. We have the entire stadium can sit at any seat, and we would have a lively discussion whether we assignments or whatever, waiting for the crusade to start.
And it was even during this time, as you mentioned, that I remember. Remember, no, you would be at school all day, so you would have had your lunch.
Mhm.
You would have spent most of your money on your lunch, and have
Mhm.
your fare to head on home.
Yes.
So we would pool what we had together. Sometimes we would buy one bun and cheese or one patty,
Share it.
and we waited for this program to start, the John Carter series to start. And we just sit there and share the one patty.
Uh-huh.
It was just so simple but
Yes.
honest.
Yes.
Really.
Those are the things that bond you together.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm. Okay, so all right, so now you've decided you've proposed, you're going to propose to her. How did you propose to her?
Well, to be honest with you, the proposal was over a time, and I couldn't connect it to a
That's
specific.
the
Yes,
okay.
it was it
You don't
evolved.
remember going down, you don't remember him going down on his knees, Carly?
Yes, he did. He
Tell
did.
us about it. I know you will remember.
I was renting. I had left home. I was working now and had rented premises accommodation from my mother's cousin. He would come by. Of course, she knew him. She was also a member of the Spanish Town Church.
Mhm.
So she, would accept him coming in to see me and so on. And he got tired just the back and forth, the back and forth. And I remember him saying one time that something to the effect of being a big man, he can't bother with this leaving and coming and back and forth.
Mhm.
It was a time when he was really considering settling down.
Yes.
We don't need to build a home, start a family. We can't bother. I mean, it's raining. I'm here with you. We're spending time together. I am now going to have to leave and walk out now to go to my home.
Mhm.
That sort of thing. So it was when he made
And I
that.
would not allow 9 o'clock to catch me at her house.
He was very
I was
careful,
yeah,
yes, as
That's
to
good.
what the
right.
perceptions may be. You know,
And I wanted to protect her image
Yes. Yes.
where she was living. You
Yes.
know, I I I
Mhm,
wanted to make sure that um her image was intact. So I didn't stay
mhm.
beyond 9 o'clock. Was very late for me.
That was very good.
So here we were one evening, one night. It was raining, um, and of course, with rain, although it's 9 o'clock, it still looked very dark.
Mhm.
So he was making a point of, boy, can't bother with this back and forth. Me a big man now, me need for have my wife and start my family and so on and so on. I said, well, you know what big man do. I mean, so it wasn't long after that when he came on one such visits that he actually went down on the knee
Okay.
and, and
Uh,
And
proposed.
proposed to you. Wow. So, what was your feeling at the time?
Honestly, I've had friends ask me, Caroline, how do you know and how can you help me to know when it is the right person?
Mhm. Mhm.
I honestly don't have a recipe. Um, but what I say to my friends is that you honestly know when it's right and you know when it is wrong.
Mhm.
There have been so many cases of friends of mine who said to me, whose marriages have gone, all right, who have said to me that they really saw the red flags. They really thought they could change this person and this person would make the adjustments, but they knew going into it that it wasn't all there.
Mhm.
And this is what I would say to anybody contemplating marriage.
Yes.
Pay attention
Let
to
the
your heart.
audience know.
Pay attention to your heart because you know when it is right.
Mhm.
Never ever choose somebody simply because maybe what the person may have, what perceived to have,
Mhm.
the fact that your family is pushing you in this particular direction. Another reason people have that really never ever works. I have a child already for him, so
Mm.
let us just concretize the thing with marriage. That is never a good reason to get married. I like the fact that we really had spent so much time before just building a friendship.
Mm. Yes.
That's important. And I found that I really had enjoyed spending time with him. Um, so coming into a marriage where you know you're going to be spending even more time, I
Yes. A
wasn't
lifetime.
I wasn't fearful. I embraced this person. I loved being in his company. I remember somebody pulled me aside on our wedding day and asked, "Boy, Carleen, this is it. You're about to walk down the aisle. You don't feel nervous?" And I really, honestly, I never felt edgy about it. I never second guessed the decision I was making.
Mm. That's good. That's good. All right. So you went down the aisle, you got married, and then you had three girls, right?
Three girls. Yes.
Is there any challenges during the time there? Is it new marriage, children? Give us a few challenges if you've had, which I'm
Well,
sure you've
firstly,
had.
I'm sure, right? Firstly, our first daughter, um, when I came home with the announcement, having you know, you know how it is with pregnancy, you feel a little different.
Hmm.
And when I had it checked, I realized I was informed I was pregnant. So I'm coming home with this news to pass on to him. It's your first pregnancy. Mind you, my father, 2 weeks before, had stopped by the house to give us tell us that he had this dream. He saw that I have a little girl, round face,
Whoa.
fair skin, round face, um, and straight nose. You know. So I'm coming home to tell my husband that yes, I'm pregnant, and he just sat there on the bed and started to bawl. I was taken aback. I was wondering, what is it that I have done? What was wrong about this, you know? But then he turned to me to say that he was coming home to tell me he had just lost his job.
Oh.
Yes, I had gotten a job at a shipping company. They hold some they hold own some tugboats, and my responsibility was to audit those boats. And the financial controller who gave me the job, I was answerable to him. But it so happened that he went on leave,
Okay.
and while I was garnering the information, I was reporting to his boss, who is the managing director, and a lot of discrepancies were discovered in the audit. And when he came back from leave, the managing director was at him, and he just called me in the office and said, these figures that I have produced, why didn't I call him before I said anything to the managing director? But I said that in your absence, I was relating to the managing director, not to you. I wouldn't see any need to call you. And him just said, well, I am relieving you of your responsibilities because you should have allowed me to see these figures before you allow him to see it. I was on probation, right?
Hmm.
And based on the audit, he had his hand in the thing. There was some discrepancies there, and he was displeased of the fact that I disclosed, um, no,
You brought it to light.
brought it to light,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I cried because I I didn't see what I had done wrong. I didn't see how I didn't cheat, I didn't curse anybody, I was on time at work, punctual, doing everything that I ought to be doing, and yet I ended up being fired. And I said, listen, I will never work for anybody again in my life. There
Wow.
must At that time I was in my early 30s. I said I will never work for anybody again. If you see an application, the name Kestanard is the only one that I know in the world. If you see it on the paper, on a paper,
It's not an
it's
application.
not an application.
Interesting. And you held to that?
Yes,
Yes.
right through.
Wow.
Through
Right
Raised
through.
3 children.
through
What, with
things
your own business? With your own business then, was
My
it?
own business, right.
Wow.
Right through. Right through.
and we have had several businesses.
Yeah.
So that's the point I'm making. You asked about obstacles and difficulties.
Yes.
We have had businesses that have done very well, some that went under.
Mhm.
We have done so many different things, from juice distribution to stationery company.
Cell phone.
We were doing cell phones. We did very well with
Yeah.
cell
We're
phones.
Clara's number one agent in the country.
Wow.
They-
Yeah.
they-
We tried our hands at a computer store that did well too for a while. Then we went into training people in the use of different computer programming. We used to run summer classes teaching adults and
how to repair computers.
yes, and we developed little niches.
Bookstore.
There were several housewives who were at home and wanting to
Coconut
learn
distribution.
about computers, and we developed that niche. So we had a class for them.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've done several things, as I said. Some did well, some went under. Right now, we are doing, the name of the company is Solar Center Stage, and our focus is solar lights. We want to expand that into other solar products, but right now the niche market is solar lights.
Wow. I admire the fact that the both of you work together.
Mhm.
You both, you know, take that and you're running with it, the both of you.
Yes, my wife is an asset to
Who,
work with.
who is the person who closes the deals?
He does. When
Oh,
I st- and I must say this, when I started, before I joined him in business,
Insurance.
I was doing insurance sales.
okay. Okay. So you have an experience.
I am detail oriented. I am
Mhm.
information oriented. I have to know my product. But
Yes.
knowing my product, me chat too much about the information about the product. So he was driving me around and he simply got tired of hearing me talk about the product. He got out of the vehicle, took up the application form, and saying, I'm sure you understand the thing. I didn't hear you ask any more questions. Caroline, give me the pen. Give me the pen. This is where you must sign. And just handed the paper
That's how
and the
you do it. Yes.
pen for them to sign and hand over the money. I could not reach to that point.
The biggest deal that she got, I drove with her all the way to Portland.
Yeah.
Half day journey
Mhm.
for to close that deal. Right? She couldn't close one deal.
Big businessman, ready to do business, and I cannot say, sign here and give me the money.
You see, that's the thing with sales, you either, and that's the crucial part though, the closing.
Exactly.
But it's also good for the information because the customer wants to know what is in it for him or her. And if you're willing to share the advantage, disadvantage of the product and how it can benefit them, sure. But then he closes. So that's good. Wow, wow. That's a part of showing how your relationship you work together.
Mhm.
That's very, very important. And if you can do that, your normal day work life, and you can do that while working together, being in the same house, seeing each other all along, then that's good. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's another question that comes to us
Mhm.
oftentimes. You sing together,
Yes.
you live together, you parent together, and then you work together. how does that, don't you get tired of seeing each other? Honestly, I don't.
No, I love being in the presence of my wife. She's an asset.
Oh,
So she's a friend. I enjoy. She's a peace loving person,
yes.
right?
Mhm.
I am not um the peace type of person. If it because sometimes you have to make war to in order to get peace. So or is there will be no peace.
Oh, Lord.
I must share with you that honestly, there have been times when I will say to him, you're my friend. I want to talk to you about my husband. You know,
Oh, because it's different.
I talk to my husband, but me not talk to you because you're my friend. So let me tell you something about this man, yeah.
You're keeping it real, right? Oh, boy. Oh, gosh. That's nice. Well, anything else you wanted to tell us? What about raising the children?
Before we reach to raising the children, our parents, I believe I got the best set of of in-laws.
Okay.
They were very supportive.
Mhm.
And I recall when I went to ask her father to allow me to take her out. Um, he said to me, "You ever have one thing yet?" I said, "What is that?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "No, man. You ever have one dege something?" I'm gonna say, "Yeah, sometimes I have one." He said, "Then what you do with it?" I was struggling to answer him.
You wasn't sure where he was coming from.
Yes, and he said, "Listen, it's one daughter I'm having now. I don't want rain wet her. I don't want breeze blow upon her. I don't want dust catch her." Listen, sit down there, then he's I must say almost 7 feet tall, big man,
Mm.
This big man telling me all of those ridiculous things. But he realized where he was going, and he said, then he catch himself and said, "I mean,
Unnecessarily.
unnecessarily."
Yes.
And I say that to say that parental support and guidance in a relationship, even if it is just courting, as long as you have your parents with you and they have that type of moral influence in your life, it is very important to utilize their judgment in your decision making process. And I think um, we both benefited from their guidance and from their support as we developed in the relationship. They were there for us
Yes.
um, before we got married. They were there for us when we got married. They were there for us afterwards, even when the children.
Right.
I mean, mommy, the first mommy would
Mhm.
she came to
Babysit
us.
sometimes. Would she babysit?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, she came to the hospital and she was there
Mhm.
pacing the floor with me, and I was, and I went into the delivery. They would not allow her to go into the delivery, but I was in the delivery room for every one of my children.
Children. Okay.
Um, I saw them before their mother saw them,
Mhm.
Mm.
and I'm telling you, this is an experience that every man should have. You learn to respect the process that a woman goes through for your children, and you learn you have to love your children and you have to take care of them, because the entire process, it is a miracle,
Mm.
and every man should be a participant in the delivery process, because I was putting ice in her mouth.
Ah. Were you bearing the pain too?
Well, I no, I don't. I'm
I'm
not
just
quite
being
sure.
funny.
It
I'm
was
just
at
being
Andrews.
funny. I'm just being
It was,
funny.
it was at Andrews Hospital. Very good place.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Very good place.
So let me ask you this thing. Now that we're talking about children, in the bio we read where one of your goals is still to have your boy.
Well, I would love to have 3 boys.
Three, not just one, three.
No,
What's your thought about that,
Carleen.
Colin?
You're actually asking?
Yes. Why
The
not?
ship, the ship has sailed on that one.
I'm just joking where that is concerned. Oh boy. It's been a good conversation with you all though. Anything else you want to say? Any like always ask for 3 points. There's a poem here which I normally read a quote rather at the end of the conversation, but I choose to read it in your presence so you can listen and then maybe just make a comment here and there. It's um it's from Isaac Kavarana. He wrote this. He said, "Don't allow your friends or your family to get between you and your spouse. Don't associate with anyone who hates, disrespects, and dishonors your spouse. Make them clearly understand that you and your spouse are one. Anyone who truly cares about you will honor your choice of spouse and will treat your spouse with dignity and respect. Anyone who comes to you to gossip about your spouse is sowing seeds of division in your marriage. Stop them immediately. Shed your Shield your marriage, and protect your spouse's position, image, or reputation. Stand up in defense for each other. This is what Isaac Cobarano has to say. Do you want to make comment on this? Any one of the phrases, verses?
I support I support that philosophy a whole lot. Um, it is very difficult to be um, encouraging to any conversation that is going to undermine um, the reputation or the character or the integrity of the person that you love the most. It is very hard to subject yourself to that. And as soon as you would anything see anything like that, it's best to disconnect.
Mhm.
I um my wife is afraid of trouble. so so she she avoids it as soon as she sees it appearing.
Mm.
So I have not had an experience where anybody really has said anything negative about her,
Okay.
right? Um, I don't, I don't, I can't say the same for her, right? But I just know as you go along in life, you sometimes you hurt people without knowing, and people hurt you without
Without them
knowing
knowing. Hmm.
or deliberately. But for me, the spirit of forgiveness, as long as I get an opportunity to speak my mind, I move on, and I will come to the defense of the person who hurt me, or if the person asks for a favor, I will never. It just gone through the window. Honestly, because when you spend too much time on being negative about a situation or about a person, it deprives you of the opportunity to see and to capitalize on a positive opportunity,
Mm.
because resentment, um, revenge takes time for you to calculate and to inculcate that and to
Mhm.
devise a reaction. You know, it takes time, and
Yes.
it hurts you. It hurts you. So the quicker you get rid of that, you know, and over the years, even in my business experience, I can lose $1 million now, and I don't feel any way about it tomorrow morning. I sleep sound tonight
Yes. Yes.
because I have other opportunities coming, and my philosophy is that God doesn't close one door,
Without. Mm-hmm.
opening others, and sometimes I am confused by the number of doors that He would open.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So I believe you should protect the reputation of your spouse, and your children. Your children. You have to. You need. This is transferred to your responsibility as a parent, and so you're careful of the company that they keep.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I try to find out the vocational areas that my children's friends are in, and I try to assist them, or to find ways of assist them if they're having challenges, right? Because I want to know that their peer group, their peer group is on par with
Going
the
somewhere. Mm-hmm.
right. So it's very important to, once you love the person, their character, their reputation, you have to guard that.
Mhm.
Yeah. What do you have any comment? A comment or so, Colleen?
Well, because we have been in business together and we have had so many experiences together, yes, comments have been made, disparaging comments to me about my spouse. And sometimes, as that poem you just read, you can't zero in on that. You can't listen to that. The fact is, you have to look and use as the reference point where you are coming from and the person that you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't allow you, who would have just met this
Outsider.
person in a week, in a month, to define and to tell me about this person who I have known upwards of 30 years. So I can't, I have to use what I know about this person. And where he said, I'm the one, the sort of go between. I can understand that this person may be hurt. Hence, these comments are coming from hurt, from a place of hurt. Let
Mm-hmm.
me find out what exactly was the issue.
Problem.
So I'm divorcing it now from a personal attack. Let me find out the source of the problem. And inevitably, once we drill down to the source of the problem, then we can deal with it, and get to a point where you can say, oh, I was really, really wrong. I was hurting. Hence, I said what I said.
Yes. Great. Now, so we're going to end now, but I need you to leave 3 points to a couple who is thinking of having a divorce. What would you say to them? To say, I know you've never had that, but from what you are having now, your relationship with your husband and wife, just tell the audience, give them 3 points to encourage them to hang in there.
One, if you need forgiveness from God, you have to forgive other people.
Hmm. Good point.
It doesn't make sense that we cannot forgive, and we go to God every day. And if he were to have written down a list of sins that we committed for the day, um, yet he has forgiven us.
Mhm.
We should be able to forgive each other.
Okay.
Um, the other thing is to be to be fair, and to treat the other person um as you would have wanted to be treated, especially in an era when it comes to um materialism.
Hmm.
What I have is for my wife. I am not going to say what she has in mind, but but as far as I'm concerned, um, she's at liberty to participate even as evenly, as long as I know that this is her intent and situation. Be open to me. I can accommodate it.
So,
Right?
okay. What's
Right.
the third point?
The third point is put Jesus in the center. That should have come before.
For first, yeah.
Yeah, that should have come before. Um, because when Christ is at the center, it makes so much difference. It makes a lot of difference. I mean, you and your wife or your spouse can kneel down and pray together. You sing together. It makes a lot of difference. It makes life enjoyable and I mean worth living. To in my view, non-Christians are not living. They don't know how to live. And if you notice, sometimes when you go to funerals, the non-Christians take the departure of their loved ones worse.
Well,
They are most miserable. They drink out it. They do all kind of things they do to rationalize, but it's because of the hurt that they are cherishing. They don't know what it is like to have hope. Right. That's it.
Yeah. But then, hopefully they will. Watching this show, they'll get some hope. I'd
amen.
just like to repeat the 3 points that you made is to forgive each other, to treat each other as you would want each other to treat, you, and to put Christ first. Now, you both sang in a group, and that's how most of your life you spent singing. And I just want the audience to hear one of the songs that you composed, right?
Yes.
Yes, most of the songs that you composed, that you sang, you actually wrote the words and the music to it.
On the album of 10 songs, 5 were originals.
Okay, album, thanks for that clarity. On the album of 10, 5 was, can you give us the name of the album?
On the
On the
road
road
for
for Jesus.
Jesus.
On the Road for Jesus. And you could leave your telephone number in case anyone wants to call you to purchase.
534-7655 or 876-534-7655.
Okay. So we're going to end now with that music, but let's hear the music and then I'll end the show. But thank you so much for coming.
As life gets harder, some men run from reality. They'll try anything to escape it all. And though they may try to find happiness, they just can't see what's ahead. They just can't make it without you, Lord. No drug can make me feel so good. Nothing we will ever do can fill or need for you. No needle to send me high. Jesus knows my every need and he will always get me by. He's only need.
That's it. Call and get a copy of that CD. Well, this is Carolyn, your host from Express, saying bye bye until we meet again. Thank you.